Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And somehow I missed doing the review for this movie last weekend. Um, Probably got caught up in the New Year hoopla. Well, there wasn't any hoopla anyway, but I just seem to have forgotten. So I'm making up for it a week later, 6 days later. And this is Troll, a 2022 film which you can watch on Netflix. And I highly recommend this movie because a, it's actually a really good movie. I'm surprised. I don't think I've seen any other Norwegian movies. Probably this is maybe one. Can't be sure. So let's say this is my first Norwegian film, and the sceneries are great. The cinematography is great, and the CGI rivals that of Hollywood, with probably a fraction of the budget. But yeah, it was really enjoyable. Troll is a 2022 Norwegian monster film directed by, and here are the names, Roar Uthaug, I do not know how you pronounce it, starring the wonderful Ine Marie Wilman, I hope that's how you pronounce her first name. And there's one movie she's actually, enamored me quite a bit. I actually like her that so much that I want to watch some other movies of hers. I did check out her filmography, and I'm probably going to try and watch a couple that whenever possible. You also have Kim Falk, Mads, oh my goodness, Sogard, Peterson, Gard B. Ilswald, Pal Richard Lunderbury, and Eric Wonerholt. These are the main cast of this movie. And basically, uh, some mining in the mountains awakens an ancient troll, and he causes havoc in the Norwegian countryside and is headed on the way to Oslo. And this team, along with the Norwegian army, is supposed to try and prevent the havoc. So apparently, this is the same director who made the Tomb Raider reboot. So I guess I'm going to watch on some of his stuff as well. So location was mainly in the Norwegian countryside, and it is around 101 minutes long. So basically, they do tell the mythology of trolls as to they were forced by once the Christianization of Norway happened. They were killed en masse by the royal family. They left one troll, and you know, basically led him to mountainous area and then locked him up over there. And this is the same guy who's come back. So Nora, who is I think she is a paleontologist. She and her father, who were very close at one point in time. He used to tell her about the mythology of trolls. You see, in the beginning of the movie, he shows her at a particular time of the day when the light hits the face of a rock mountain. You can see the faces of trolls that are basically supposed to be turned to stone in the rock face. So that's kind of like part of the Norwegian mythology. Years later, they are drilling trying to drill a tunnel through the mountains of Dovre, and there's a huge eruption. There are a lot of workers and people protesting over there, and suddenly amongst them there's this huge noise coming, and the troll comes out, destroying a lot of people. Basically, now initially they don't actually see it very clearly, but since her father was was a person who kept warning about trolls and the way that development throughout the mountains and the forest are going to affect, and he was ridiculed by people and finally became a hermit and lived estranged from his daughter. He was living somewhere pretty deep in the mountains. So Nora is called, and along with the Prime Minister's advisor Andreas Isaksson, and he's pretty funny in this movie. They go to the area and they find what appears to be large footprints. So she calls up her dad because there's another sighting where an elderly couple's house is basically torn apart by they know what happens is actually by the troll. And they go find the father Tobias, and along with a couple of the military soldiers, a captain, they go by a helicopter to an area where they think this creature could have been hiding, and then they find out that yes, it's the troll. So basically, the rest of the movie is them. Once they escape from there, they go to the government and the leaders. There's a military operation to try and destroy them, and basically this is about this thing about trolls killing anybody with Christian blood. That's one thing I learned. The other thing I learned that they can't stand the noise of church bells, so that's how they were actually herded away at one particular point. The church bells, they get really upset. So trolls used to destroy churches back then. We do find what has happened to all the trolls. They were all killed, and basically under this palace or something, excuse me, you can find a lot of bones of them destroyed, and even a young one as well. So they use Nora and her friends. They use a skeleton of a troll to lure the one that was actually destroying parts of the city, parts of the country, to a particular area, and they are able to they find out that sunlight will make them UV lights and sunlight will basically turn them into stone, destroying the creature. Initially they try to do it with UV light, and Nora feels really sad because the troll is in great pain. She makes them stop. However, it's too late. The sun rises over that area. The troll basically it's killed because it's made into stone, and it does have a little. They do share a little moment of empathy, because the troll doesn't want to destroy anybody just like that, and it will only kill Christians. By the way, that was really funny. But yeah, that's part of Norwegian folklore. So that's the movie. At the end of the movie, very predictably, I wish they hadn't actually done that, but post credits, they actually go back to the area where the troll actually came out in the mountains, and we find that there is a baby troll inside. Who knows what kind of havoc he might create? But I don't think they're actually planning a sequel to this movie, although it might be fun to see. But yeah, so fun movie. I really liked the main cast. Tobias was really good. The captain is played by Mads Sogard Peterson, like I mentioned. He plays Captain Christopher Holm, and he kind of reminds me a lot of. I don't know if he's. I mean, they might be even related. Who knows? One second. Mads Sogard Peterson, is that his name? Yeah. So Captain Christopher Holm. He kind of reminds me of Stephen Amell. They've got the same kind of look with the, the way that they built and all that stuff, plus the stubblish beard and all that stuff. But the one that really struck up for me, and there's this actress. She and Isaacson are pretty good friends, and they kind of like soulmates. She is a computer expert in the military. Her name is Sigrid Hortney. She is played by Caroline Victoria Seltingen. She's a Star Trek fan, and Isaacson, both of them are basically Star Trek. So there's a couple of scenes in which they actually do mention that. Make it so. Surprise! Billy Campbell has a blink. If you blink, you miss him. That kind of a role, playing Dr. David Secord. He's just there in the beginning, and that's basically it. But yeah, the one that really I really love the way they made up the troll and all this stuff. But the one that actually struck me, of course, is Amy Marie Wilman. She absolutely is amazing in this movie. Gorgeous, I must say. Surprising movie for me. I really loved it, to be honest. I'll give it a 8.5 out of 10. I will enjoy this movie again and again and again. Really worth watching. Highly recommended. Thank you guys. See you in the next video coming up soon.